The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, Larry Pesavento.
And this is Dave White sitting in for the one and only Larry Pesavento. And, well, he'll be back tomorrow. So I just need to sit into him for a little bit. But we've got a very interesting market setting up. We'll talk about that throughout the show. But we want to just take a little look at the futures. Yeah, let's see. Let me see if I can find it, because I know I've got it. Where is it at here? The peak. Huh? Liquidity is better than some days, but not as good as it was earlier in the day. It's actually pulled down a little bit. I'm looking at the Nadex, not to be confused with Nadex, futures liquidity. If you want the link to that, you can always just email me at path@tfnn.com. Now, what's most interesting? Well, to me, the SMHs, and we'll get into that in a minute. But when we look at the futures, what do we got right now? Looked to me like we were down about 150 on the Dow. Let me pull that back up. 158 on the Dow, down 17 on the S&P. The NASDAQ looks like it's down 60, and the Russell's down 8. And what is the most important thing out here today? I think it is that NASDAQ and the semiconductors. The reason why is it looked like a shooting star. A lower open today with a lower close today would put that shooting star in for yesterday. So we'll take a look at that. We'll take a look at some other things. But as I always like to do, I like to start my shows off with a little bit of history.
Then it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
It is always history repeating. On this day in 1856, angered by the shooting of a prominent journalist, San Francisco's San Franciscans formed their second vigilance committee to combat lawlessness. The town had gone from maybe 900 inhabitants to 200,000 in a short 5 years after the Sutter's Mill gold, what do you call it? Gold rage, gold, whatever it was. Anyway, the sudden influx of people overwhelmed the city, harried by law enforcement officials, where I think they had 2 deputies, found it nearly impossible to maintain law and order, and chaos often reigned in the streets. This day, a gentleman who was probably involved in a organized crime ring went and shot the writer or the editor of the newspaper there. But it was running amok, much like San Francisco is running amok today. It's hard to pick up the internet and see an article that doesn't show the incredible problems that they're having there with drug abuse and just wanton lawlessness. But not that bad. The committee later that year was disbanded and never was another one put in place. They did find the guy that did it and had actually a fair trial and hung him 2 days later. But you know what? Vigilantes, not such a bad thing sometimes. If the government won't take care of what you need to take care of. First job of government is to provide security for its inhabitants. They didn't, and the disaffected rose up on this day in 1956. And I just wonder whether they're going to do it again in San Francisco. Just say enough is enough. You never know. Of course, before the bell this morning, we had Home Depot out with earnings, $2.08, beat by 2 cents. Revenues of 24.95 billion shares, missed by 270 million, and it looks like their forecasts are going to be lower. They're off by $5 pre-market. We'll take a look at that chart once it gets trading. Agilent last night had a EPS of 65 cents, beat by a penny, revenue of 1.21 billion, which was just in line. See if I can get a pre-market quote on A. Yeah, it's off 7%. So I think they also guided down in the near future. So not a good night for earnings. And of course, this morning, futures kind of held up till about 8:30, and then they started taking a dive after numbers came out. I don't know if you can put 2 and 2 together on that. I thought that this market was going to roll over anyway, as we've said on my show for the last couple of days. It looked like it was going to be one of those rare things that happens maybe once or twice a year, maybe twice if you're lucky, and that is a pullback into into options expiration, which is this Friday. So, you know, we've had fairly light volume. In fact, why don't I do this? Why don't I actually give the actual numbers okay. So for the CBO consolidated report, volume report. Actually, I can show it right here. Yesterday, we had about 6 billion shares. The day before, just a little over 6 billion shares. 5.9 on Friday. So as we pushed higher yesterday, yet again, we didn't have any volume. On Thursday, 6.8. The day before that, on Wednesday, we had 7.2 billion. So we had a couple of days of very light volume, pushing higher, and just didn't get anything out of it. So was looking for a pullback anyway. Is that it? Yeah. But I think we're facing some earnings that may also, like Home Depot and why do I want to say Allegiance? It's not. Allergent. I can't even say it today. Anyway, coming up on earnings, not much after the bell tonight, but tomorrow morning, Macy's and Canadian Solar. After the bell, Cisco, Take-Two, NetEase, and Jack in the Box. We get into Thursday morning with Walmart. After the bell, AMAT and Nordstrom. I don't see anything out here. I thought Walmart would be the weakest one. To see both Home Depot and Allegiant. I don't know why I can't say that today. I think I've had another stroke. Anyway, that's it. And of course, I've got my options seminar Wednesday night, so you can always tune into that. Maybe we should take a look at this when we come back. But to me, the most interesting chart was the SMHs yesterday, and we'll take a look at that. Give me a call. Allegiant. Yeah, that's what it is, Allegiant. I don't know why. Just sometimes. See a word and you want to pronounce it the way you think it's there. But that's it.
The TAS Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the TAS Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profiles So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free. For more information on the TAS Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
Are you an options trader that's looking for that extra edge when placing trades? David White will be hosting a webinar on May 16th, which is the Wednesday leading up to options expiration Friday in May, where he'll discuss in depth the methodology he uses for trading options near expiration, including swing trading setups and expiration day trading scenarios. Subscribers to each of Dave's newsletters, Path of Least Resistance and the Technology Insider, gain access to this 60-minute webinar, which will be archived if you cannot attend live. Dave has had some great option trades recently for his subscribers. See for yourself the trading methodology he uses when trading options by signing up today for either of his newsletters, and we'll see you Wednesday, May 16th at 5 p.m. for option trading near expiration, analyzing swing trades and expiration day scenarios. For all the details and to sign up today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Larry takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And we're back. As I was saying, SMHs look like they could have a shooting star. Shooting star is a pretty much what I'm showing on the screen. Pretty good indication of a reversal signal, along with the price action and a lot of other stuff. If you've missed my show during the day at 2 p.m., what I've been looking for is a fairly decent pullback with lighter volume into the Memorial Day weekend. I thought it would be maybe higher, but options tell me a little bit different. And I think we could pull back to the mid 2600s or maybe 2670, something like that on the S&P cash. A pretty much similar number on the SPYs. But this one would probably be a good way to putting a dent in the NASDAQ today. All you need is a lower open somewhere around the high or the close on Friday. So I think we're fairly close to that, but if you need the link to this, don't know what a shooting star is, I'll be glad to email it to you. Just email me at path@tfnn.com. Anyway, when we actually look at the chart, it's pretty much textbook other than the fact that you had kind of a light day on the 11th. Normally you have one more like the 10th. These things don't, exactly, they kind of rhyme. They don't aren't a photocopy of what happens in the book. But what you want to look for is a kind of an open on those SMHs around 105.22. I don't think I have a pre-market quote on the SMHs. I think there's just too many of them. 105.75. So you're kind of close to that. What is that? Yeah, 102, 105. It's going to be just a little higher than the textbook, but not bad. Anyway, that would be it. Anyway, you take a fairly good look at it. I suspect that you could, at the most, see the SMHs come back to 100, more likely around 102, 101. So we will look at that. And, of course, the NASDAQ, too. If the SMHs get a cold, the NASDAQ gets Ebola. And we all know how fun that is. Anyway, give me a call, 877-927-6648. You can also email me at path@tfnn.com or put a message in the den. It is going to be kind of quiet. Of course, the dollar is making you holler today. 93, is that right? 93.24 on the, what is the contract here? DXM8. So we're up almost 0.75%, up almost 70 cents, actually 69 cents, now 70 cents on the U.S. dollar futures index. So that's going to probably also put a hurt on it. This thing really started to take off about 7 this morning Eastern time, and has not stopped. It had maybe a couple of candles, maybe 15 minutes where it just kind of jogged down maybe, I don't know, 5 cents, and that was it. So you basically went from 92.60 this morning to 93.24 here on the last tick. That can't be good. Of course, that puts a hitch in the get along of things like gold. Gold is or was under 1,300 bucks this morning. We'll see how well that holds up. Silver is off to what, 33 cents. We'll see how platinum was the absolute best looking chart of all the precious metals. Silver kind of came in second for me in my interpretation, and that just told me maybe that gold wasn't as strong as the more industrial of the precious metals. Don't exactly know why. Maybe manufacturing continues to be good. See, do we have any emails yet this morning? I think we do. Okay, we got another one out here. Getting a lot of fan mail this morning. Thanks. Keep on coming. And what else do we have? Okay. Okay, let's start looking at charts that could be moving today. I went through a few of these. Want to see how this one does today. Advanced auto parts. This one's coming up to rather stiff resistance. Spiked it on Friday. Came up on light volume, 939,000 shares yesterday. You're going into a 1.5 million share high gap up from January 26. Energy, pretty mild from that April 23rd low. But these are a handful of stocks that might turn around here in the next day or so. Bevy, ABBV. Now this one looks like a fairly decent looking ABC on the way down. Let's go ahead and do the expansion here on this one. Pretty much you've done a 54% retracement. What would really be nice is this thing gaps up this morning, maybe by $1 or so, gets right into about the 107 area on this one with no volume. Gap down on the 22nd of March, did so with almost 27 million shares, and yesterday you had 8.5 million shares. So back into that gap down, and the question, I don't think this has earnings anytime soon, although I will check. BBV to July 26. So this one is a possible. I really, for the short position on this, like the very light volume and energy back up off this April 3rd low. It just never really caught any fire. And of course, you're going back up through that candle of the 22nd of March, where it did come down on the 27 million shares. So pretty nice. Trying to remember what this company does. Pharmaceutical products worldwide, company office. Oh, that's Humira. Now it makes a lot of sense. You see those ads incessantly on TV these days. Okay. I don't know. Somebody in the den is saying, is gold a fake out? I think you've got to be watching gold right next to that dollar ticker, because it has not stopped really. Well, it's a few cents off the high. But this does look like the kind of spike that you could get a fairly large reversal on in the dollar. But my guess is that you're going to have at least a couple of hours of that dollar index holding up before it would turn down. So I would be thinking that you got to at least look for, what, 10:15 Eastern time before you would expect that maybe a big change in the dollar, but we will see. Arena Pharmaceuticals, another pharmaceutical stock up here on highs. I know the IBB has looked fairly good the last few days. This one is going back into a 7 million share high from March 21st. That was 45.85. Oh, on a break here. So we'll be back. Make sure and give me a call, 877-927-6648. Email me at path@tfnn.com. And of course,
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters. In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And as the markets open, off 13 on the S&P, off 109 on the Dow, NASDAQ is up 8. Is that right? Or is that just not? No, there it is. Didn't want to scare you. Off 50 on the NASDAQ. Russell's off. Is that right? Or is that from yesterday too? I don't know. It shows off 6 and it's not moving. Let me update it here and just make sure. We'll find out on the Russell here in a second. I would assume that off 6 is about correct. Anyway, off 14 on the S&P cash. We'll watch the volume from the first 30 minutes, but my guess is that we are in a low volume pullback all the way through probably Memorial weekend. That would be kind of the old pattern circa earlier than 2010, with the QE taking out every month $20 or $30 billion. I think we could quickly go back to patterns that we had in the 2000s and 1990s. You know, seeing a light volume move out in the end of May would not be surprised, setting up rallies throughout the summer. A lot of times you get kind of sideways actions in June, though, and then the big rallies happen after July the 4th. But we'll see what happens. But, yeah, still looking for that 2650, 2670 area on the S&P cash by Friday. This would be a good step if we hold this. Of course, I was talking about the SMHs. 105.85 is the first ticks I see down here. Got to 105.62 for a low. So we'll see how this holds up throughout the day. But that's it. One of the more interesting things that I got emailed here during the break was what do things say about the GLD and GDX. Well, normally I only like to buy things when there's either blood in the streets or complete euphoria. And what this would tell us is that there isn't a very good risk reward for any new positions in gold here. My guess is that you want to see these things back down, and it's probably going to take 3 or 4 days to get these things back down into buying territory. Now, that doesn't mean gold has to go down, but I think you've got 3 or 4 days before we find some kind of bottom in gold. I sold a long-term position just because I thought the entire market was pulling back. And one of the things that doesn't happen, that a lot of people believe happens, is that gold goes up when the market goes down, or especially gold miners. And historically, that has not been true through most of the 1900s. Initially, gold miners tend to hold up, and in real hard markets, guess what? They sell what they can, not what they can't, and that ends up putting pressure on gold stocks a bit. So if we're pulling back, you're probably not going to find they may be better than the rest of the market, but I'm going to say that it's a lot of times sitting on your hands is a much better strategy, or pulling the trigger short, than trying to sit on these things and catch every little movement. But my guess is that if you're looking for that spectacular low to buy in gold, you probably have a few days out. And that's just from my sector oscillator out here that looks like it made a top. We're probably going to pull back down for those 3 or 4 days. So maybe Monday, maybe that changes. But again, a lot of this is going to be on the whipsaw from the dollar, but I wouldn't see any reason to buy anything right now. Again, I'm not buying for the next 5 or 10 minutes on the chart. I'm going to be buying for the next week or 2 weeks on a swing, and that's why I have to wait for blood in the streets, and I do not see that yet. Okay, what else is going on? Let's see. What do the options say about GLD and GDX? Not a whole lot. We'll get into that on Wednesday's show, but there's just not a lot to go after out here, other than probably, I think, like the stock I had, which is I thought maybe there's going to just be a slow decline. The whole market's kind of let the froth come off in the next couple of weeks, and either be short or put your hands in your pocket. I don't see a lot of reasons to be long anything in this market. The one thing that was moving was the IBB. Let's see if we have some first ticks out here. This one's off a buck. Agilent was probably the biggest factor on that this morning. We'll see how this holds up. I would love for this thing to come back again on light volume. In fact, let's close this out, go take a look at IBB. I think that, this thing is really kind of set up where it's had lower volume lows that look beautiful, it's just never really been able to get a lot of energy. This is the first leg that had more energy up than down from May 3rd, that low. So it's not bad. But, man, if you could get one more pullback out here and the volume all falls out, this may be – I've always thought that the IBB would be the outperformer of the year for these ETFs. The question is when to get started in it. And that is the what is it, the $66 question? What was the name of that show? Long before me. But that's it. Other stocks of interest that I'm keeping an eye on today for possible positions is Decker's Outdoor. This is DECK. Nice high on 2.8 million shares on February 2nd. Got another one on February 7th at 98.92. The only thing I'd love for this stock to do today is blow through 100 and have no volume. We're about 50 cents short from yesterday. I would not be surprised to see this thing move anyway. The energy was been fairly low off this April 2nd low, but a lot of triple tops out here, just trying to find the best one to put on any new positions. Russia also, ERUS, looked like it had a fairly decent setup for an ABC on the way down. When we look at this expansion, you did a 50% retrace, just a little off. Let me get this back up here. Do I have anything else? $64,000 question, thanks. Or a $64 question. I can't remember which one it was. Which one was it? Wasn't that the one that was had all kinds of problems because they found out that they were giving the answers to the questions for some guy? I kind of vaguely remember that, making a movie about it. Anyway, ERUS, which is the Russia capped index, looks like this one could be setting up an ABC on the way down. A lot of stuff happening in Russia I've seen in the papers over the last week or two showing that they may be out of cash. And just a 1-to-1 ABC would take you to 26.70 on this one. Yesterday, the high was 35.01. It almost did exactly what I like in these double gaps, which is almost go to the center of the double gap and then open lower here this morning. So we'll keep an eye on that one today. What else is out here? A lot of people talking about IWM. I thought it would hold up better than the rest. I think I said that on the end of my show. Then Steve Rhodes basically echoed the exact same thing. He wasn't listening to me. I just was kind of thought that was very interesting that we came up to almost the exact same conclusion, and that is that a lot of these other stocks would be a lot more problematic. Anyway, we'll be back after this. Still have plenty of time to give me a call.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
TFNN has put together the finest programming lineup each trading day, featuring some of the most knowledgeable and respected financial minds in the nation to educate traders and investors. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we broadcast 8 hours a day, starting at 9 a.m. as Larry Pesavento kicks us off with Trade What You See. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we broadcast 11 hours. Get an early and healthy start to your day as Nico and Paige bring you Living a Primal Lifestyle. Then catch Andy Hecht at 5 p.m. with the Commodities Hour, following the Tom O'Brien Show. Swim lessons from TD Ameritrade Think or Swim is now at 11 a.m., followed by Basil Chapman at 12 noon. See the TFNN program lineup via the link on the front page of TFNN.com to get a complete overview of our TFNN shows and hosts. And keep TFNN's Tiger TV tuned in on your mobile device, PC, or Mac for the latest financial news and information throughout the broadcasting day. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
The Bull Bear Binary Option Hour, brought to you by Nadex. Next on TFNN.
And we're back. This is Dave White sitting in for the one and only Larry P. And, yeah, always interesting to start the day off. I listen to him well, I'd say most of the time that I have an opportunity to listen, I do, which is most of the time. But we'll continue on. I got to find this. Now I can't find it. There we go. Off 21 on the S&P cash. Dow's off 202. Nasdaq's off 75. Russell's off 6.5 still, unless this thing is just not updating, which we'll do. Okay, yeah, 6.5. So far, Steve Rhodes and I, sharing one brain, think that Russell is going to hold up better than the rest. And so far, at least this morning, that it is. Just because it doesn't get affected by the dollar as much as the other three out here. Question out here was, do the SMHs look like that shooting star is confirmed? Well, certainly so far this morning. SMH is 105.24 on the last tick. Had a question come in through the email, which is a thing I hear, not just a fad. People actually use it. path@tfnn.com. We're down already on NVIDIA. The question is, what do I see for NVIDIA? And that is one of the reasons I didn't hang on as long, and that was this kind of looks like about 240 on the options. So we'll go ahead and look at this because I am talking about it this week. Now, why these things will be a lot lower today. What will happen is, as the market goes lower, generally what will happen is more people will buy puts, and that actually moves the number higher. So these numbers tend to converge between what it's actually showing today and what it will actually be on Friday. I've already done the math on that for the SPYs, which is the way I came up with that number. It actually shows lower. Same thing on this. I've got to look at high short interest. So you got to add a little fudge for that because everybody loves to short NVIDIA, which is the reason we went long in my newsletter at 211 a couple of weeks back and took the ride up fairly quickly. And the same thing. When the way down, you're going to have a lot more people coming in. So this thing went up to 260, did so actually on fairly decent volume. I don't think this company's in near the problems that Apple and maybe its brethren have. In fact, we haven't looked at Apple yet. But anyway, I'm going to say somewhere around 240. We'll see how close that comes on Friday. We'll talk about it. But yeah, 240 kind of looks like support. There's a gap up there, and that gap did have a little bit of volume, about 17.2 million shares on the 7th. So I'm thinking that's it. That's about halfway through this big candle down on 35 million shares. So I think that candle was on the 27th of March. So I'm thinking that's kind of where we're looking at out here at about 240. Options kind of go together with the charts and go together with kind of the price and volume action, other than the fact that you did have some fairly nice volume going into that high, but probably not enough. And the close back into the trading range says that you're probably in some kind of consolidation. This may get down by Memorial Day to 230 or maybe even 220, but I'm thinking what we're going to see the rest of this week is about 240. That would line up with what the SMHs and the NASDAQ kind of are showing. Okay, go back and check some more emails here today, if I can find them. I've just got too much stuff on my desk today. Okay. Okay. Got that one, got that one, got that one. Okay. Anything in the den? I will take a request too. I've gone through my emails here. Let's take a look at T. Rowe Price, because those couldn't make a high yet again. WDC, we'll get to that. Got plenty of time. T. Rowe Price, this one had kind of a light volume top in this 119 area, and 120 back on January 29th. But this has been fairly hard resistance in this. Not the end of the world, but the energy off this May 3rd low was not enough to go break out these highs of 119, 120 that we've seen here in the last few months for T. Rowe. And of course, that's always an issue when you look at brokers. If they're not doing better, or if they make like they've looked like a high, then a lot of times you can think that the market has made a high. WDC came off very hard. It's bouncing back up. The problem with this is everyone's short now. WDC. See what it was. See, it's got a little over 4 million shares short. Oh, no, that's not right. That's daily average volume. See, it's got almost 6 million shares short, and that actually down a little bit from the previous reporting. So this one actually may be a little better. The problem is the risk reward, which is I don't know if you're already long or short on this thing, but man, the risk reward is 87, which is where you'd want to see this thing hit before you actually short it. May not get up there with all the problems, but it still has a fairly decent short sale number on this. So it ends up being problematic in that there's no real good risk reward. I don't know, S&P, have anything else on this one? I do like it, but I'm thinking that you get a little bit bigger pop into that 87 level, and that's where pulling the trigger on this one short would satisfy the risk reward. You had a good gap up yesterday on some volume, and that's why I'm more than suspicious that you don't see that 87 area hit with a lighter volume, because this really looks like a short squeeze push from yesterday. You might not get a lot of follow through, but again, you don't have enough. If you're talking about 83 bucks to 76 bucks, the risk reward isn't there for me. Oh, yeah, 87 is where you want to be, I think. Man, the big problem I have out here being long is just, I suspect, I think I said it yesterday during my show, that this could be one of these May kind of pullbacks, which is you just drip a little bit every day. You may get the first big move off today, and it's just a little more and a little more and a little more every single day, and your stock just never goes really anywhere. And that is the problem. We'll see. I could be wrong on this. I don't think that you'd want to short it until you got to 87. So that would probably be a good place to actually cover it, because I think a lot of other people are looking at it that way too. The problem is just everything in the world heading lower here for the next couple of weeks, at least in my view of the market. You know, when we come back, we're going to talk about a stock that opened much lower yesterday and just continued higher all through the day yesterday, even in the sell-off. It's just off maybe 1% today, but very interesting action in this stock. So we'll finish the show up with that. Still have time to give me a call at 877-927-6648.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're back. We're going to finish up Larry's show. I will be back today at 2, and we'll get that done. Anyway, just to check in here, 2709 on the S&P cash off 21, Dow's off 160, Nasdaq's off 73, Russell's off 7. Continues to be stronger than the rest. I think it will be. Dow's probably second in that race. Nasdaq's probably going to be the most hurt because it was probably the most frothy, at least over the next few days. S&P cash, off 22. So just looking for this kind of descent to come back in here. And everything's looking fairly good. Anyway, we were talking about Western Digital. It is one of the few stocks that actually has options that say this thing will probably expire at 82.50 come Friday. So maybe all the worst is already in it. People that wanted to sell are gone. But actually one of the few out here that actually had a higher expiration pop. But again, risk reward is not there for me, but other people have different ways. Doesn't mean I'm right. Doesn't mean they're wrong. Could mean they're right, and I'm wrong. Anyway, when we were looking at, what was I going to talk about? Oh, MZOR. I'm so easily distracted. This one was interesting because it was off like at 52 bucks. This is Maser Robotics. I think everybody wants a robot. Anyway, opened lower and ran higher all day long. These are the kind of stocks that when you see them moving against the trend of the bigger market last day or so, or two, you want to keep an eye on them, because if we do get in some kind of low, either the week before or more likely a couple of days after we come back from that Memorial Day weekend, this one may be set up very nicely, MZOR. In the meantime, sell when you can, not when you have to. See you back here today at 2 p.m. And Larry will be back tomorrow.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks!